page. So yeah, definitely, we would love the support. We definitely want to help out veteran businesses, but you don't have to be a veteran business if I remember correctly. But basically, you would by giving money to us, you would help us out, and then you kind of help yourself out too. So it's a win-win. But we want to highlight your business, and just showcase what the people in the veteran community are doing. Um, so yeah, that's if you're interested, by all means, we're definitely loving the support. MBR is growing day by day. We've got hundreds of veteran podcasters, or hopeful veteran podcasters, and I'm hoping to have a few on the show here shortly. Um, and I do have a guest, and we're waiting on her to show up into the stream. Which this is live, so sometimes things happen, and there are delays, or there are issues that come up. So yeah, we're doing this live, and we're just we're trying to make it work. So yeah, if you are interested, you want to jump in on the stream, by all means, just let me know, and we'll add you to the stream. That would be kind of cool. So yeah, if you're in the military, or you're a veteran, or you're transitioning and you have some money issues, there's tons of resources out there available. It really, there's so much that it's almost overwhelming, from what I've heard from some veterans. So if you are struggling with your finances, either active duty or you're transitioning out, come join me on the Fire Social Worker page. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. And yeah, we'll learn from each other. Ask me some questions, and I'm definitely down to help where I can. I can provide lived experience. I can provide professional experience, but really, I'm just trying to here to help people as much as possible, and just be compassionate and understanding that there is a psychology behind finances. So I'm really interested in the learning about the behavioral side of personal finance, because I know a lot of people really struggle with money. Whether you're in the military or not, there's a huge issue, where we tend to overspend. We tend to just not be mindful with our money, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm totally guilty of it. And so this is a judgment-free zone. By all means, do not feel like I'm gonna throw any shade at you. I'm not gonna yell at you or scream at you by any means. So yeah. Well, with that being said, let me see. We got anybody willing to jump in on the stream? But yeah, so a lot of people are talking, about. Well, let's see. We got. Let me see what we got. Yeah. So, what are some of the things, financial topics that you guys are worried about right now? So, I'm actually going to talk to ChatGPT real quick, um, and see what is trending in the financial world. All right. All right. So yeah, like I've been using ChatGPT for a while, and I've said it in previous streams. Like it's just really fun and cool. I see it as like a little bit of a sidekick, a virtual assistant. You can bounce ideas off of it, and it's just kind of fun to me. Like I don't see it as Skynet or anything like that taking over. So yeah, it's just a fun thing to mess around with. All right. So, what do you know? Right off the top, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence and finance. So, so yeah, the use of generative AI in financial services is expanding rapidly, revolutionizing areas such as customer experience, risk management, and fraud detection. So, yeah, AI tools are being leveraged to personalize financial plans, automate back office functions, and enhance customer interactions through chatbots and other technologies. So yeah, I mean, when it comes, and I've been wondering about this. What is the financial industry? Are they embracing AI? Are they nervous about it? Like, what are their thoughts on it? And it seems like they don't, like most industries, they don't really have a choice. The AI is here, so how do we learn from it? How do we embrace it, and make it work for the good of humanity versus, and then there's going to be bad actors, there's going to be bad AI and bad chat bots, and I'm sure they already exist. But I'm a believer that it's a tool that can be used for good, and we have to train it to be used for good. So I'm trying to do that right now by utilizing my chat GPT, for positive things. I'm helping it with my business stuff. So like it's helping me like write business plans or business strategies and things like that. So I mean, it's just, yeah, it's like having a super smart assistant in your pocket at all times. Now, granted, sometimes it is kind of wonky, so I don't necessarily blindly follow it, but like I said, it's just like it's Google on steroids. It's just it kind of fleshes out some ideas. It like you can put a prompt in there, and yeah, like it'll come up with like this whole like I just had it search for some things, and like I said, it's like Google, but it has links and it aggregates all the information, so it's just really cool. And I'm just here for it, just trying to learn from uh from the AI overlords that are eventually going to take all of our jobs, right? um but yeah, like if you're in the financial industry, I'm curious, if what are your thoughts on ChatGPT? So yeah, shoot me a comment. Let's have a conversation and talk about it, because I am curious. For the financial industry, what is the real talk on the streets about when it comes to AI? All right. So the other things we got is hybrid cloud technology. Financial institutions are increasingly adopting hybrid cloud models to improve efficiency and scalability. This trend is driven by the need for better data management, compliance, and ability to offer more robust digital services to customers. So this is really kind of getting into the weeds of some of the more techie stuff. But once again, it just shows that the financial industry is looking into it and trying to harness the technology for good. So hopefully, there's some good that comes out of the integration of AI. All right, so we actually have a comment from Tony Hollinsworth. I will say ChatGPT AI has helped me tremendously in school writing papers and saving me time. Haven't done it for a math class yet, but I start macroeconomics next week, I believe. So that's actually really interesting, because as a social worker, I'm actually I've got a stream coming up with the AI social worker, and she talks about, she's a school social worker. She's in the school social work association, and they're kind of grappling with using AI in school. And yeah, so it's actually really interesting that you know you're using it to help you write papers. And I'll go ahead and admit that I'm actually using ChatGPT to help me write, I guess it's like a graphic novel or a book. So I don't know if that does that mean I'm writing it, or is ChatGPT writing it, or is it are we co-writing it together? Because I'm putting in the prompts, and I'm editing things and I'm tweaking things, and yeah, like I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's going to be kind of cool. um and then I guess maybe I'll have to give some of the proceeds to ChatGPT. I don't know how that's going to work. Am I going to put them on the cover of the book? I don't know. And then with schoolwork, is it your writing, or is it the chat gpt or the AI writing? So I don't know, it's just interesting. Yeah, I appreciate you, Tony, for jumping in and kind of contributing to the conversation, because it's one of those things that it's not going to go away. We have to kind of grapple with it. It's going to affect many, many different layers of our life. So yeah, we just have to kind of roll with it and make the best of it and try to use it for good. And yeah, it looks like Tony's definitely trying to do that. I am curious about the math, because I know another host, the military retirement podcast, John McConnell. He was saying that he's been trying to mess with ChatGPT with math, and since it's a language learning model, it doesn't really do well with math. So I am curious to see how it handles macroeconomics. That's pretty cool. All right, so looks like Tony got another comment going on. He says, I think it can be a useful tool. For me, I usually can speak well and even articulate well, but as far as grammatically conjugating things correctly is a pain, and some citations and references are helpful to even just help some people get a start. Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people don't realize that ChatGPT, like you can ask for citations, you can ask for it to write it in a certain like APA style, and so I think it's gonna really upend the the college world in a lot of ways if it hasn't already. Like I know colleges and schools are grappling with how do we deal with ChatGPT and AI. So yeah, it's like I said, it's here. We're gonna have to try to figure out how to mess around with it and how to incorporate it into society in a way that's not super disruptive. So, but it's good that people are trying to learn from it, use it as a positive tool in their lives, and that's basically what I try to advocate for. Even as a social worker, there are tools that can help us basically provide better care for people. So yeah, appreciate Tony, jumping in and providing some context and some actual useful use cases for it. So all right, well, while I guess we're still waiting on our guest, I'm going to check in. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. And either I'll be rocking with maybe another podcast host that might jump in. So if you're out there in podcast land and you can jump in on the stream, then it looks like I might need to call in the Avengers. So I appreciate you guys jumping in now, and we'll be back. I'm going to play, I guess, my go-to guy, Noah Peterson. He's actually starting to get featured on some radio stations. So maybe I'm helping getting Noah Peterson out there. I told him I was going to make him famous, but he's like a modern jazz musician. He has some really cool stuff. He's a Marine Corps veteran based out of San Antonio. So Noah Peterson, here is one of his really awesome songs, and then we'll be back.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, we are back and we are live. Money in the Military on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're giving veterans a voice. And once again, I have to give a shout out to MBR. This platform is amazing. The team is amazing. We were just featured. Joel and Big Grizz were just featured on an article or an interview with World News, and man, it was just really awesome and really inspiring. I'll link in the show notes to the interview. It just really kind of highlights the stories, the origin stories of Joel and Jordan, aka Big Grizz, and basically what MBR has meant to them. What has it done for them? Like I'll go ahead and just, me personally, this is kind of therapeutic for me, or not, it is therapeutic for me because, as a veteran, as a military or former military member, we've been through a lot of difficult times and stressful events. And since I got out, I felt isolated and struggling to find my way and find my people. And since I found MBR, I mean, it's just been, man, it's been great, amazing, heartwarming. Like the people that, the other podcast guests podcast hosts, just, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to share our voices, but then we also have that sense of community, camaraderie, and just togetherness. And it's just, man, I just wish more people, more veterans. And I've been trying to get people, other veterans. I'm like, hey, you should look into getting into the podcasting space, because we do have a lot of great things to say and a lot of funny things to say, sometimes insightful things. Like the MBR platform features so many different voices and so many different like, I don't know, you have to come join us and put yourself out there, because it's like I said, as Big Grizz will say, and every other podcast host on this platform, I would think, would say, is that this has been a very therapeutic experience. And I'm really grateful and glad to see that we're growing. There's more interest in what we do. So yeah, just hopefully, I will hope that you share MBR with your military family, and let's get more veteran voices out there into the world. So I'm gonna be actually going to the Military Influencer Conference in September. That I think September 30th. So that's something that so Terry of Terry. She's a Tracer Rounds podcast host, so she's going to be there with me. We also have John McConnell and Victor LaFleur from the Military Retirement Podcast. They're going to be there too. And basically what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to live stream some shows from Atlanta at the conference, and just showcase what we do, spread the word, spread the love. So keep an eye out. I mean, granted, that's still a little ways away, but I'm just excited about it. My first ever conference like that, so I'm just excited to be a part of that. Yeah, so Tony has said the same thing. Love MBR. It's been great for me and my podcast as well. So yeah, come join us. Or if you don't want to be a podcaster, that's fine. I get it. It's not for everybody. But at least explore the different shows that we have on the platform. Let me see if I can pull up all the different. I mean, I don't even know if we have all the different shows just ready to go on a platform, but because we, as we're expanding, we have to go onto different. We had to create, like, I think there's 3 different channels that we had to create, and it's just going to grow more and more. So yeah, let me see. Yeah, I mean, we got. I'll go ahead and just start talking about all the different shows, because we might as well. So we got the Rebel Experience, Black Sugar Show, Dog Tag Diva, Oscar Mike Radio, Reset with DSET, Gold Standard, the JT Show, Turnbuckles and Stogies, the Gunslingers Tavern, the War Dog Trail, Northeast Streaming Sports, HG Sports in the Cave. I mean, come on, like that's so many different shows, and that's not even all of them. So yeah, like come join us, come support us, and if you're really feeling froggy, then donate. Give us a monthly donation. We'll definitely appreciate it, and it'll go to a good cause because, a lot of the new, um, well, basically, as far as I know, every new podcaster, we're starting from scratch in most cases. So we don't have the equipment, we don't have the resources, and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build, is a like a podcasting bundle. We're trying to, work with podcasting equipment manufacturers and seeing if they can maybe sponsor us, donate some equipment, and maybe even train some of us, the newer veteran podcasters, on how to use their equipment. And so, we're looking at all kinds of different partnerships and sponsorships, and just trying to, as we grow, we're going to need more resources. And so, that's just my shameless pitch for the show, for the platform. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and get off that soapbox for now. But yeah, so I guess we're still waiting on. So Deanna Charette is the veteran that I was going to feature, and I don't know. I guess maybe we got our signals crossed, but maybe our times were crossed. But so we're waiting. We're gonna wait on her, and in the meantime, uh, maybe lighten the mood a little bit. I was given some advice from our fearless leader Joel that maybe inject a little bit of comedy into the show. Um, in the words of Michael Scott, I would consider myself a student of comedy. Um, but no, like I've always loved comedy. I've always loved to laugh and to make people laugh. And yeah, so I actually was curious, and I asked ChatGPT some funny money related stories from the military. So I mean, I haven't even read this, so don't. We'll see how it actually works out. But I was just curious. So here's the first instance of funny money in the military. The case of the $1 million chimpanzee. In the 1960s, the U.S. Air Force was conducting a study on the psychological effects of space travel on chimpanzees. One particularly clever chimp named Ham managed to rack up a series of expenses. The Air Force recorded a $60,000 expense for miscellaneous supplies that included items like bananas, diapers, and chew toys. Over time, Ham's expenses reportedly totaled over $1 million. It became an inside joke that Ham was living better than some of the officers. And there's actually a link that talks about this story. So apparently this is true. I don't know, but that's kind of it is, anyone that's been in the military knows that there are some kind of funny expenses and accounting, sometimes just downright weird. Tony jumps in. The worst thing about the prison was the Dementors. That is the worst thing about prison. The Dementors are just they're always there, always present, just flying around, causing problems. So yeah, like if anyone has any good funny stories from like money stories from the military, I could think of a funny one myself. So when I was in my training school after basic training, I was kind of like the oldest guy in the group, and I was 24 when I joined, and everyone else was like 18 years old. So I kind of became like the den mother of the group, by not by choice, but so I was the the older, more mature, responsible one. I had my finances were in better shape than them. Um, and I remember there was a guy who was, I think, 18, 19 years old, first job out of basic training, out of high school, and got married on his way to tech school. And so, that was a little bit of a red flag. But anyways, he shows up like at like 8 o'clock at night, knocking on my door in the dorms, and he's just like swinging these keys, with this kind of cheesy grin on his face. And immediately I went into dad mode, and I was like, "What did you do? What did you do?" Because he didn't have, there was no discussion or anything like that. Like, it wasn't like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about buying a car." It was just like he showed up and had a car. And my next question was, "What is your interest rate?" And then his response, like his face kind of like changed, and he was like, "Well, I got 19%." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, you're not doing this, man. Like, I'm not going to let you do this." So I literally, that next day, I went with him to the car dealership, and I went, like I said, I went in dad mode without realizing it. But I basically was like, "We're going to take this car back, and you're going to return it to the dealership." And we did. He kind of had to, he took his hat in his hand, and was like, and the other part that was funny too is that, he was 18, 19 years old, and I was like, did you tell your wife about this? Did you tell, anybody? He was like, "No, not really. I didn't." And then, the wingman that he brought with him, like, was the quietest, shyest guy in the class. Like, I mean, really, really great guy. I love him to death, but like, not the kind of person that you want as your wingman to go to a car dealership. But yeah, it was just funny. And I guess I went, yeah, I went into that protective mode where I was like, "No, you're not gonna do this." And luckily, the dealership, I think they knew that they were taking him for a ride. And there was like that cooling off period that some states, some dealerships do. And yeah, so they actually let him get, like, surrender the car back. And then, he had a whole fight with his wife, had a fight with his dad about it. And oh man, I still remember that. And I don't say that to like throw shade on him, but it was just one of those situations where he was really excited. He was just getting his first paychecks for the first time, and he just didn't know any better, and he went in there blind, and he got taken for a ride. And sadly, that's a pretty common thing in the military, especially around military bases. Um, yeah, um, so I just thought about that, that kind of a funny story. All right, so yeah, we got another comment from Tony. "I used to see it a lot with the Army privates I worked with. They'd tell me their interest rate of their cars, and then they said the salesman told them, they said the higher the interest rate, the more people are interested in it." Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a pretty interesting sales tactic. I have to give them some credit. That's creative, especially, considering if if somebody doesn't know any better, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I got a 19%. That's got to be pretty good because that's pretty high, right?" So, wow, that's man, that's pretty bad. But like I said, if you go to those, and if you're active military right now, if you're in the early stages of your career, and you probably hear this from all your supervisors and maybe even your peers, like, you don't go to a car dealership right outside the gate, for one. But for two, take a wingman, bring somebody with you that you trust, maybe even like somebody that's more experienced than you, like a supervisor, somebody that you trust. And yeah, don't go in there emotional, because yeah, car buying is an emotional experience. So you just got to be careful. And just be mindful. Bring somebody with you, and be smart about things like that, because those purchases have long-term impacts, years and years. Like, you're going to be paying so much interest on that loan, and I'm not saying you're never going to pay it off, but it's going to cost you so much in the long run that it's not going to be worth, it's not going to be worth it. Yeah, Tony says, "Don't go in uniform to buy a car." Oh man. Yeah, that's like sharks coming, that's just chum in the water for the car dealership or car dealers. Oh man. Yeah, great, good advice. Good advice for sure. All right. So let's see what we got. So we got the case of the $1 million chimpanzee. Now we got the ATM incident. This sounds like a Always Sunny in Philadelphia title for a show. The ATM incident. So this one is during a deployment, an Army unit in Iraq set up an ATM on their base for convenience. However, the ATM was inadvertently programmed to dispense the wrong currency. Instead of Iraqi dinars, it gave out US dollars. Soldiers quickly realized they were receiving a favorable exchange rate and began withdrawing large amounts. The mistake wasn't caught until the unit's financial records were reviewed, leading to a hilarious but serious investigation and many red-faced soldiers returning the excess cash. Wow. Okay, wow, that's an interesting story. I'm curious if if they actually well, the link on ChatGPT is not good, but apparently this is a real story. I'd have to do some more digging into that. At the very least, it's entertaining, to say the least. But what else we got? Let me pull this one on. All right, so the next story: the submarine sandwich debacle. On a U.S. Navy submarine, the crew decided to pool their money to buy ingredients for a massive sandwich-making party after several months at sea. That sounds like a Navy thing to do, shout out to all my Navy folks. Just a little bit of gentle ribbing, but all right, they ordered an extravagant amount of cold cuts, cheese, and bread. However, they forgot to account for the limited storage space on the submarine. The result was a hilariously cramped vessel where crew members had to navigate around stacks of sandwich supplies for weeks. All right, well, if that's a real story, and then, it's kind of funny, a Navy submarine, and they decided to make, well, I don't know if they made submarine sandwiches, but that's where my mind went to. So yeah, if that's true, if you're a Navy person and if that rings true, or if you've heard of that story, chime in, let me know. I'd be curious to see if any of this is actually true, because once again, this is from ChatGPT, so you got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. But at least, if it is true, it's pretty entertaining. All right, so we're gonna take I guess we'll take another break. And we'll feature once again Noah Peterson. He's my go-to. Like his music just puts me in a good mood. This is going to be Noah Peterson again, and we'll be back right after that.
Introducing J&J Beard Co., your go-to destination for high-quality handmade and natural beard products. Our family-owned business, based in New Jersey, prides itself on using the finest ingredients to bring you premium products that will elevate your grooming routine. Each product is carefully crafted with love and expertise, ensuring that you get the best care for your beard. Treat yourself to the luxury of J&J Beard Co. and experience the difference that true quality and craftsmanship can make for your beard. Join the J&J Beard Co. family today and unleash the full potential of your facial hair with our exceptional products. Find them on the web at jjbeardco.com. That's jjbeardco.com. Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch veteran-run podcasts along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world. Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, and we are back. This is Money in the Military. I'm Joey Laswell, aka the Fire Social Worker, and I'm a certified financial social worker. And we're just talking money in the military, different funny stories, anecdotes. People, we talked about some ChatGPT earlier, and yeah, we're waiting on our guest, but it looks like I got ghosted. I don't know. I think we just had some issues. I don't really know, but the show must go on. And so yeah, we're just gonna, I try to have fun with it. Tell a few more stories. Tony has been holding down the fort with his comments and in commentary. So I appreciate you, Tony. Once again, the MBR family coming together and, just helping out when they can. And so I really appreciate that. And, so we got, let's see, one more story. So they only gave me 4 stories. So before the break, we were talking about, I asked ChatGPT to tell me some humorous, humorous money-related stories from the military. So we had the case of the $1 million chimpanzee, the ATM incident, the submarine sandwich debacle. And then the last story is the expensive laundry mishap. So this is regarding an Air Force base implemented a new laundry service for its personnel, intending to provide free laundry for uniforms. However, the contractor misinterpreted the contract and began laundering everything from socks to civilian clothes. This led to an unexpectedly high bill running into tens of thousands of dollars. When the error was discovered, it became a running joke that airmen had the cleanest socks in the entire military. Well, as an Air Force, veteran, that's probably true. Just being honest. No, but yeah, that is kind of funny. Especially when you get into military contracting, there's so many instances of things like that happening where contractor is signs a contract to do a certain thing, and then they end up either overspending like crazy or misinterpreting they misread the assignment basically, or in some situations they were just downright shady. So yeah, government contracting, that's a whole nother can of worms. But But yeah, like I would not be surprised if this is true. But yeah, with ChatGPT, you gotta kind of keep it with a grain of salt. But yeah, so that's the funny money stories from the military, at least from ChatGPT. Let me see if they can come up with a few more that are actually better than that. So yeah, if you're watching the stream, or you're watching this after the fact, a lot of people can't really watch live streams, and that's okay. So some people are going to be watching this after the fact, or maybe listening to it on podcast format. I found myself watching content on YouTube and then just kind of playing the audio in the background. You need YouTube Premium for that, um, but I'm a baller, and I lead a premium lifestyle, and so I have YouTube Premium, and I'm proud to admit that. So, but yeah, it's it's just one of those things. But yeah, like I'll be uploading this to YouTube. So if that's your you know format of choice, then that'll be there for you. It'll be on Facebook and LinkedIn, all these other platforms. So uh, you have plenty of options to consume the MBR content. All right. So we got a couple more stories, but let me see. Yeah. All right. So then we got the phantom paycheck. A Marine on deployment in Afghanistan discovered that he had been getting double pay for several months due to a clerical error. Instead of reporting it right away, he decided to keep quiet and save the extra money. However, his conscience eventually got the better of him, and he reported the mistake. The paymaster found the error so amusing that he let the Marine keep the extra funds as a reward for his honesty. The Marine became a legend in his unit for his unexpected windfall and moral dilemma. I'm not sure about this one. I mean, I have okay, yeah. It is possible. It's plausible because as anyone that's been in the military and dealt with military finances, and I'm not knocking the military finance world, but there are times where mistakes happen, with your pay. And if anyone has had a mistake happen against their pay where they're like, oh well, I'm actually getting less pay than I'm supposed to, it can be a challenge to get that fixed. But then if the mistake is on their end, they will claw that money back pretty quickly usually. So the part that I don't know if I agree or believe is that they actually let him keep the money. Because I mean, if anyone that's been in the military finance community can maybe jump in or chime in, I don't think they would let you keep the extra money. I've heard of them being pretty cutthroat about taking that money back if they discover, or when they discover their mistake, because they're pretty good about usually catching their mistakes. But yeah, I haven't heard of them allowing the military member to keep the money. But hey, that's a ChatGPT story for you. It's maybe a grain of truth, but the links on here aren't necessarily hyperlinking to an actual story, so I cannot confirm nor deny the story. But hey, it's entertaining at least. All right, so then we have the MRE barter system. Now this sounds interesting. During a field exercise, a group of soldiers began bartering their meals ready to eat, MREs for everyone that already knows, to pass the time and to try new flavors. One enterprising soldier managed to trade his least favorite MREs for a series of items, eventually ending up with a small makeshift shop that included candy bars, energy drinks, and even portable gaming system. His fellow soldiers were impressed by his wheeling and dealing, and the shop became a popular spot for those wanting to trade up their rations. So this part, I definitely, I believe, because anyone that's been deployed or been on an exercise and has dealt with MREs, that is a commodity that, some MREs are not, they're not all created equal. So if you get the chili mac or gosh, man, there's a couple other ones that were just super high demand. And there's a personal preference. Like some people liked, the ones that most people don't like. There's that one guy or girl that was like, oh yeah, I'll eat that. And they were kind of like the weird ones, but but hey, like they were happy because they got to eat the ones that no one wanted. So, but as far as creating like a whole little shop and a little mini economy, I totally believe that would happen. Um, and yeah, like the snacks, man, the snacks were where it's at. Like if you got like an actual branded snack, like the Skittles or the M&Ms, or eventually like they started phasing those out and they were like generically named, Skittles and M&Ms. I forget what they called them, like candy pellets or something. But yeah, that brings back a lot of fun memories of deployments and TDYs. So yeah, anyone who has had the pleasure of eating MREs for weeks at a time can feel that story. And I'm curious too about the energy drinks. I assume that these are Rippets because, I mean, when you're deployed, do they have anything other than Rippets? I don't know. I thought that Rippets were like sponsored for deployments, but that's maybe that's just me. All right, so then we have the Great Toilet Paper Heist. All right, so this is on a naval ship. A group of sailors decided to play a prank by hoarding the ship's supply of toilet paper. They hid it in various nooks and crannies around the vessel, causing a temporary panic among the crew when the shortage was discovered. The pranksters eventually revealed their stash, but not before the ship's supply officer ordered an emergency resupply. The incident led to a ship-wide joke about the importance of TP security, and the pranksters were given lighthearted but memorable reprimands. All right, well, I mean, this maybe has an air of truth to it. It seems like something that would happen on a military or with the military members, because a lot of times, for all the civilians that might be listening, whenever you get a bunch of military members together in a small space, sometimes weird things happen. You might get a little kooky or weird, or you get silly with each other. And, it's part of the bonding experience. but yeah, there's definitely, I would hope every military member can look back fondly on some of the crazy, just off the wall, stuff that happens, especially if you're on night shift and it's like 3 a.m. and you're just trying to stay awake. And, just trying to stay sane. A lot of people, unless you're nothing, if you're a civilian and you work night shift, that's difficult, but in the military world, working night shift is it's a whole nother beast. So yeah, that brings back memories. I used to work nights all the time and working 12-hour night shifts. That wears on you after a while, for sure. But yeah, so all right. Yeah, okay. We got some Big Grizz wanted me to play the J&J Beard Company ad. So yeah, so this is one of our new sponsors, and just wanted to highlight them and thank them for sponsoring the show and the platform. So they're I'm going to play their ad real quick, and just we're running towards the end of time, so I'm just going to say thank you for everyone joining the streams. Thanks, Tony, for jumping in the chat, and for everyone that's listening on the tail end. So this has been Money in the Military. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for MBR for putting on this platform and what you're doing for the veteran community. So all right, here we go. Here is J&J Beard Company coming your way.
Introducing J&J Beard Co., your go-to destination for high-quality handmade and natural beard products. Our family-owned business, based in New Jersey, prides itself on using the finest ingredients to bring you premium products that will elevate your grooming routine. Each product is carefully crafted with love and expertise, ensuring that you get the best care for your beard. Treat yourself to the luxury of J&J Beard Co. and experience the difference that true quality and craftsmanship can make for your beard. Join the J&J Beard Co. family today and unleash the full potential of your facial hair with our exceptional products. Find them on the web at jjbeardco.com. That's jjbeardco.com.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations and your dedicated volunteer hours to make it happen. I encourage you to consider supporting NBR in any way, form that you can. Use this QR code that's attached to the picture, or you can go to our website at mbradio.us. That's Mike Bravo Radio.us to learn more about how you can donate or volunteer even just an hour a week from your home. Help make a difference in the lives of our veterans, because once again, we're all here for you and not for us. We're giving our veterans a voice.